Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Bol. 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 Jai Jai Radha Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Raman 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 Hari Bol.
Namaste. Welcome to Sangha of Being, Hangout. So we don't really know why we're here. But we're here, so that's good. Let's start. So just before we start, I just want to say may the light of our Father shine in all our hearts and light the hearts of everyone who comes to all of our presence. So I don't have anything to say, so you're free to just if you have anything that you would like to contemplate together or discuss or anything, or if you just want to be silent, that's okay.
I had something actually.
Mm-hmm.
Came to me maybe last night. I don't remember. Maybe it was during Satsang today. It's because I came from a Buddhist background before getting into Advaita and more of the Vedantic kind of thought. It seems on the surface, that they're the same, but they're really not, in some very fundamentally different ways. But in the school of Zen that I was in, the Heart Sutra, Prajnaparamita Heart Sutra is the big scripture. It's referred to as the scripture of great wisdom. I say that's what Prajnaparamita means, really, wisdom. And it's so interesting that over the past maybe 4 years or so, I've felt one day I'd be like, oh, I finally understand this. And then, you know, a year goes later by, and oh, I finally understand this, and what I understood before was completely wrong. And it's continued that way as all of this deepens. And like last year, I thought, oh, this makes so much more sense now with Advaita. I finally understand this. And I'm back around to what I understood before was wrong. and actually, I think I finally understand the Buddhist interpretation of looking at it, and seen in the light of the way we speak, and but without taking anything away from the Buddhist side. And that's the first time that's happened, because last year it was like I couldn't quite connect how I was seeing it then with the way it should be taught in Buddhism. And it's only been in the last few days that this is kind of unfolding. But it encompasses almost everything that Father talks about. And I wish I had a copy of it. I don't anymore. I gave my last one away, so I've just been looking it up on the internet. But you know, in the beginning, he says how, you know, the great Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was, depending on your translation, was like coursing through something emptiness, coursing through emptiness. You know, he's sitting in pure awareness, right? You know, or pure consciousness. And he goes on to say, you know, the famous lines: "Form is emptiness, emptiness is form." The same is true for sight, sound, taste, smell, mental constructs, feeling, you know, all those things. And then he says, where it seems like a paradox to so many, and it did to me at one time. He says then, in this emptiness, there is no form, there is no smell, there is no body, no nose, no eye, you know, no yada yada yada. And I was equating last year. I was equating awareness with emptiness, and now I say that's just not right. That there is something that's aware of emptiness. That seeing, like when there's no me, and not only can you not discern self from what is being seen, there's just the seeing. There's only seeing. And that I now am seeing to be a true direct experience of emptiness. So when he starts off saying in this sutra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form, same for all these other things. It's like saying another translation of emptiness in the sutra has been pure, or purity. And it's rarely seen, but in the Soto Zen school I came from, that's the way it was translated. So when we would recite the sutra, you wouldn't say, "Oh, Shariputra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form." It was, form is pure, pure is form. And in this pure form, everything that appears, everything that is heard, seen, sensed in any way. It's just pure consciousness, arising in pure consciousness. But in that ultimate purity, there is no form, it's just pure. And I still feel like I'm missing something.
What do you mean you're missing something?
Because when I equate emptiness and awareness, it's such an easy thing. But I am seeing now that there is something that is aware of emptiness. There is something that can say emptiness is perceived. Emptiness is experienced. I'm sorry. You can't perceive it. Emptiness is experienced. So I can say I am aware of the experience of emptiness. So awareness must come even before that.
I think people can use the word.
Sorry?
Well, I was just going to say, I think people maybe can use the word emptiness in different ways. Like maybe some people use the word emptiness to mean awareness as well. But like it just means awareness is aware of itself. It doesn't mean some different. Like, but maybe you can use the word emptiness as something else. I don't know. Like
it's
quiet mind.
It is where I get caught up in it. I think is when it's talked about in Buddhism. It's always talked about conceptually because it can't be talked about. And so it's talked about in very conceptual terms and like sometimes very, very, very simple terms. And it confuses the hell out of people. People spend like years and years and years and years studying this, and they still don't know what the hell emptiness is. They may have even experienced it. They're so confused by all the conceptual terms that they can't. They don't realize it. That they've experienced it. Because it's often explained as, if you say something is empty, then you have to ask empty of what? And so it's technically, usually it's explained as empty of any inherent existence on its own side. It's really technical, and that's why I hate all that Buddhist philosophy. But that is the actual experience.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Are you trying to, like, this is just for my own clarity, but like, are you trying to match up like your teachings in the past with the teachings from Ananta and Moojiji, like the teachings of Advaita with Buddhist teachings, and make sense of it or something? Is that what you're doing?
Maybe I still am in the beginning because I haven't sort of grown up with it, There's only one truth, and in the end, there's only one truth. You can't have multiple truths and ultimate truths, and so I'm convinced that in the end, these masters, Buddhist masters, be they Zen masters or Dzogchen, Mahamudra masters, are seeing the exact same thing, experiencing the exact same thing that someone from an Advaita background or a Vedanta background is experiencing. But it's expressed in different ways because of their upbringing and their education in their religion, and their, all their monastic training is with a certain set of scriptures, and it's always explained in the same way. And so their explanation of their experience, comes across in a different way than the explanation of the experience of an Advaita guy or a Vedantist. And
Can I
so,
say
yeah, I guess I'm still trying to marry those two up, because the truth, the ultimate truth, has got to be the same. But it's that description, and I keep coming back to this Heart Sutra because it's really been my heart for so many years. You know, it kind of led me in a lot of ways, and maybe it's just impossible because there's such different languages,
Mm.
different expressions. I don't know. Maybe I should just give up and just be.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about like Buddhist traditions or anything like that, but I feel like Advaita is just like skipping to the last page in a book or something. Like to just like skip to the end to find out what happens. So it's just like, who am I? You know, and that just like finishes everything off. Because I do have some like
Yeah.
experience with Buddhism, or I don't know if Vipassana is Buddhism, but like at one point, like you can have lots of different experiences and all, but if you don't like know who it is who's having them, then you might you can continue to believe you're on a journey forever, for as long as you want. But if you can see that, like, who am I, and that there is no one who's on a journey at all, then it just like finishes everything. But of course, like all journeys lead to the same place, like you said. There's only like one.
Mm, sure. Yeah, I agree. Advaita is like skipping to the last page of the last chapter. You know, for sure. And it's the kind of thing that you just so rarely get. I mean, in my experience, have just from a couple of different schools of Buddhist practice. You just don't get it. I mean, maybe in Tibetan Buddhism, after you've been in it for a gazillion years, you know, and you do all the preliminary practices and all that stuff, and sat in the cave for 20 years, some master comes along and says, "That's it," and you go, "Wow!" You know, we get the "that's it" right from day one. And then they just don't say anything. They just, you know, wait for you to come to them and
Mm.
say something. And go, "Oh, well done." You know, if you're even close. Um,
It seems like
yeah.
teachers, if they're teaching anything, they just teach like whatever path they went along. So I don't know about the teachers of Buddhism, but maybe they went along a path, and if they discovered something at the end, I don't know, maybe they still believe that they had to take that path. So I really don't know because it's hypothetical because I don't know about Buddhist teachings.
One of my favorite lines in that Heart Sutra is when he's negating everything, and he says there's no, one of the things he negates is there's no path, no eightfold path, which is like the first thing the Buddha taught. Was,
Mm.
you know, here, this is the reason for suffering, and here's the cure for it, and it's this eightfold path, you know, yada yada. And he just negates that right there, and then there's no path. And it's exactly what we come to in Advaita, that it's just right here. There's no path. It's right here, right now. Anyway, I don't know. That was kicking around my head
Hmm?
after Satsang while I was doing something else.
And Nick would
That's
like to
enough
say
on me.
something. Is that?
Yeah, hi guys. Wonderful, wonderful to be here on an extended satsang. Yeah, Soham, you know, we were talking before, you remember, about off and on. I had this incredible experience with Tony Parsons, and I don't know if all of you know him, but he kind of he just sort of takes away the entire teaching, the entire teacher. Therefore, it takes away the searching, takes away the whole thing comes to a halt, and all that's left is isness, you know.
Mm.
And nonetheless, I come to satsang with whoever, you know, because of the heart. because of the love for Ananta, for the Sangha, for the love of Mooji, for the love of whoever is shining this Heart Sutra light, And so, having said that, Tony kind of takes all that sort of spiritual consensus away, strips it away naked, I still find what's the word? It's not comfort, it's not consoling, it's just the space of emptiness that is resounding in the gathering when we're together, and there's no mind, and everything is just unfolding. So one could say it just becomes a celebration of this, and it's just funny that, I think I mentioned it because the videos I've seen of Tony where he's pointing at this, there's just this, it's me talking to you guys listening, and I'm listening, and we're here, and there's nothing else. So, and it's true, it's absolutely here and now. There's no future, there's no past, it's just this. It to a certain extent, it would seem very scary. One can imagine it would be very, very indigestible to the normal seeker who is trapped in this seductive addiction that there is something we have to do to achieve union, So we're so constantly feeling a separation. I can say that about my life, certainly. And although I made my life as idyllic as possible in physical, circumstantial ways, living beautiful places, I've never worked for anyone in my life and stuff like that, and very obstinately kept a profile of, as Amber used to joke with me, being cool, remember?
You got frozen. Maybe it'll come back.
He dropped off, huh?
Hmm?
He dropped off?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Parsons, he's so cool. I think one of the videos I posted last night, he talks about all these religions, the teachings of these religions being like prisons that you're put in. It's true, it's like I was thinking of all the Buddhist stuff I've been through and all the stuff that was taught. It's like just imprisoning you, in a here's me and here's this goal over there, and I'm never going to get to it because I got to go through all this stuff to get there. And it just puts people in these prisons that they're, unless they're really lucky, they're never going to get out of.
Mm.
And what Advaita does is just rips those walls away and says, you don't have anywhere to go. It's just right here.
Mm.
There's no prison. There's nothing. It's beautiful.
I was just saying to a couple last night, never mind, like, looking to see your awareness and all that. But like, if you just like stop trying to work things out and just like didn't need to know anything at all, then in that it's like I feel like everyone is like would be completely peaceful and happy in that, even if you like didn't think you knew who you were or something. But just like, yeah, like, because it's like as if everyone wants to know why this happens and how this happens.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
That was the internet connection, bad internet connection. Yeah, that's it. It's just to share this with you guys and just say, it's so much gratitude and
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I like the Tao of Pooh I like the Tao of Pooh that Shivani posted. You know the Tao of Pooh, Winnie the
Oh,
Pooh.
the Tao of Pooh.
The Tao of Pooh. Effortlessness. That's just it, you know.
What is the Tao of Pooh again?
What is the Tao?
I don't remember what it said, but it was like, oh, he said something. The one character asked him about effortlessness. How is it that you can do all this stuff effortlessly, or something like that? It's a takeoff on that thing from Tao Te Ching about effortlessness and how the master does nothing but everything gets done, something like that. It's just cute. Yeah, it really is interesting. You don't need religions and philosophy. You know, the most uncomfortable I felt in the last long time was just a minute ago when I was in my head trying to talk about the Heart Sutra, and it got logical. I felt so uncomfortable. That's the most uncomfortable I felt in a long time. Because like when this thing came to me like early this morning or whatever it was just this flash of insight, and it was like, whoa. I didn't think about it. It was just like, oh, that's cool, you know. And I didn't think about it again until we got in here, and it was coming out of here instead of here. And God, that was uncomfortable. That's just no fun.
Yeah, when you think you have to know something. It's
Yeah.
like just like you don't need to know anything at all about anything at all. And then it's like
Yeah.
I was just remembering the other day, I used to, when I was really young, I used to go swimming, and I used to lie in a swimming pool and just float, and my like ears were under the water, so it like blocks out the sound. And it's just like
Yeah. I used to do that. It's a great feeling.
so life is a bit like this when you don't have a sense that you need to do anything or be anything or know anything.
Yeah.
You can just let life carry you, because it's just like life is taking care of itself all the time. And even now, when we're here together, nothing has to happen. Like we don't have to say anything, you know, because some people are here, and you might have a sense like, oh, I should say something, or I should share something because I'm here. But actually, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You know? You don't have to just nothing. You're just here. That's it. Just your being here, isn't it? Well, if you want to share something, then please do. You know, I feel like the Sangha is very beautiful because we're all here to support each other in our discovery of truth. And no one here is going to, even if you have your own moments of like believing stories for a second, really, you know, like that they're not true. And everyone here is all here, we're all here for that same purpose. So if you come here with a story, we're not going to support each other in stories. And I feel like that's a very beautiful thing. And if we're just here for that, that's good. So you might come and think, oh yeah, I'll share this story with this and that. But actually, when you're here, you might not want to do that because we're not going to support each other's stories. We'll still be happy to listen to your stories if you want to share them.
What story?
Yeah.
Hello.
Come back, Anant. Don't escape.
You guys are like taking over his house.
Yeah. We can also use this time to, if there's anything that you feel is like annoying you or something, or like bothering you, or something that you want to like let go of. It's like we can consider it like the same as satsang, and it's just like we're just gonna like throw it here and not hold on to it anymore. So if there's anything that we don't want to hold on to, that we feel like we've been holding on to, you can just like, I feel like even if you, it's like as if you say something to anyone, and especially to anyone who is not believing your stories, then it's like it can't survive, it can't live. So just even saying it out loud to your, it could be just even if you have a child and you speak to your child, because your child is not going to believe. But here is also a good space if there's anything that you just want to like throw away. You're welcome to throw away. The fire of Sangha. You feel like you want to.
But that's actually one of the reasons I find it so liberating to share any particular story, or to have the courage, that courage to touch on a so-called story and be spiritually incorrect, because exposing it to the Sangha is totally different to exposing the same story to circumstances of, let's say, friends or people out there, that are not aware of this charge, So, but I found that I'd been taxing myself quite a bit actually, and not going into certain stories because they were conceptually that I was actually fighting them and no, don't go there, type. But in fact, I've been finding that it's much more liberating. It seems to be a sort of a tremendous healing in unrepressing everything, even though you do know that it's not true. But there's just it's like our chat, just like having a sort of chat in a way. Because I often find myself in Hangout, for example, with a constriction in the body, maybe in the heart area or in the stomach, in the hara area, and there would be like a burning sensation to come up, like a kid almost wanting to interrupt a conversation between two adults, yeah, really bizarre, like no, behave yourself, and most of the time I don't come up in those situations, by the way, yeah. But I think it's opening more and more, and then of course the whole thing, just doesn't become serious, which I think is the most pathological situation, is when it becomes serious.
Is there anyone here now who's taking themselves seriously? Like I say, sometimes I think I've told you before, like all of you in Sangha chat, but I run laughter yoga classes, okay? And there's one thing I do in laughter yoga class where I've actually started calling it "Don't take yourself so seriously." So I just get everyone to go around pointing at themselves like this, and just laughing, so as if you're showing yourself to each other. So you just go up to each other and go. That's very funny, and it's great, to actually go around showing yourself to 20 other people, just going. And we also have a big mirror in the room as well, so go in front of the mirror and go. Very good. I recommend it.
I think this might help me, with all the shyness and all.
Yeah, let's do it together. Okay.
You want me to do this?
Okay, so myself and Capital are going to do it together, okay? And you can all do it as well if you want to. And actually, I encourage you to do it. It'd be fun. Okay, so we're going to do, what did I say it was called? I'm not taking myself, I can't believe I took myself so seriously. So we're just going to point at ourselves and laugh. And even if it's fake laugh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so.
Okay.
It's very good because we do all have moments of taking ourselves seriously, and laughing is really good, just energy releases that. That's good.
I can't believe I did that on the Hangout.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, get a grip.
We should do other really silly things as well to just completely get over ourselves. I really don't some people Sorry, so I might have to mute you for a second because there's echo. And sometimes we're very self-conscious about our image, so we have to sit in front on the Hangout like this. So really, we should just make funny faces or something and look really ugly and stuff, and just completely go over ourselves. Go on, your turn now, or your turn now, Couple.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, so you have to make yourself look in a way that you really don't want to look. Make a really ugly face or something. No.
I've got one for you too. It's like when I first broke this tooth, I would sit in satsang like this because I was afraid to smile like I usually do because it looked like a pirate. So hey, there's my tooth. The funny thing, I knew I must be changing because when it first broke, I'm eating, right, and it just broke. I was like, oh damn, I just threw it over there and just went back to eating. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm going to look ugly or anything. I was just like, I don't care. I haven't finished my food yet. I thought, that must be an improvement.
Anybody else here who wants to make themselves look really stupid on purpose? Now is your chance. The chance might never come again. So if you have any sense of not wanting to look stupid, this might be your only chance. Step up. No? You're all very happy to look stupid. So come on then, step up anyway. So,
I'll watch this recording again.
but right now, you feeling okay now?
Yeah, I'm feeling better, much lighter.
Yeah.
Well, it could be stupid faces or embarrassing things. I just my sister just came to me and showed me a little video that she took of me yesterday having a nap on the sofa, and I was snoring. Unfortunately, I can't send it to you, but so because she wants to be vindicative to me and in a funny way, you know, brothers and sisters, you know. So I've got this one for you now. So it just shows an old man on a sofa snoring. Anyway, so looks pretty ridiculous. So.
You put an image in our head, so that's good enough.
Right. It's just, you know, just really tranquil. You know, someone just having a really nice nap. You know. In fact, this thing of resting has been the theme, I think, for some time now, actually, specifically with me as well. I had a really nice talk with Ramdas for about 40 minutes and the other day, and one-to-one, and I'd mentioned it with Ananta before as well. And Raji as well this Sunday, I asked him a few things about it, just to get a kind of different perspective from each, you know, sort of angle. And what I'm finding, I'd just like to bring this up even yet again to another light, and that is that with the issues that I've been having with the body, and you know, like my eyesight and back pains, and you know, and the associations with it, having been very busy, very active, very athletic, very demanding on my body for many, many years, and as a professional diver and surfer and everything and stuff. So now all of a sudden, it's like my body is, by the nature of fatigue, is just asking for a break, you know, and it coincides with this dismantling of the whole mind association with it, you know. Feeling good, for example, because I used to feel really good doing these things. You know, it was like my adrenaline rush, you know, in a sense. And over from my last talk with Ananta about almost a year ago, when I had a breakup with my girlfriend and everything, and it was really drastic, and I was going through these downfalls already. And he just told me and urged me on to just give in and surrender to this, not feeling any energy, you know, and feeling, and we associate it very much with laziness, and then there's a sort of classical spiritual misunderstanding, I would say, at times, where people think that to be on this path, you're lazy and stuff. Of course, it's totally, you know, out of perspective. It's nothing to do with it. But having said that, for my unique individual experience at the time, it has been a very deep surrendering to non-control. Because when you don't have the energy to do something and you're literally almost falling on your, you know, I would go like 4 or 5 times a day. I would go, God, I'd eat something, and then suddenly the body would just go rest, 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 you know, and I'd have to, you know, if I leaned on a table, I would go to sleep on the table. If I go in the hammock, I'd go in the hammock, you know, but I had to subdue to this incredibly strong impulse. And then it's just coming to me now. The mind attacked me with so much guilt about it, because it is the closest thing to truth, you know. It's like, oh, no, don't go there, no, come on, get up, do something. You can't just lounge around, and you know. And I just realized that that's why the mind was coming in so strong, because the ego associated with it was just going, no, that, hey, don't do that, boy. You know, now you're going to lose everything, you know, if you do that, you know. So, and I'm still in that phase now. I'm still in that lethargic looking thing. Of course, I'd like to call it rest and renewing, you know, something, and rewiring even. It feels like a rewiring, you know. And not believing your next thought, of course, comes along, and then that really just blows everything apart, because it is what it is now. You know, it doesn't even have the connotation of examining and taking the temperature of that situation. It just is what it is, you know. And although I still have these bombarding thoughts and judgments of what it is, you know, taking the temperature of it, the predominating seeing, the predominating awareness is that I am not this, you know. In fact, it's not even I'm not this, it just is, and there's no you know, there's no separation, actually. There's no separation. So this, it's just becoming this one unfolding flow of, you know, non-judgmental living, you know. It's absolutely amazing. And I say this, you know, with a tremendous amount of joy, because I've never felt so much peace, you know, before. In all my years and years of searching and with gurus and all over the world and stuff, I've never been this close to this peace, you know. It's very much like sitting on a hill, on a mountaintop, under the sunlight, under the blue sky, and just looking down at the valley and able to distinguish all the thought forms, even the emotions that are even more subtle than thoughts, you know, and to be able to just watch them, you know, literally watch them. It is just so sublime, so sublime. A bit frustrating at times, because I find that when I'm faced with people who are going through problems and things, there's a tendency to want to share that with them, you know, in the goodness of heart of wanting to have welfare for your brothers and sisters, of course, you know. But then of course there's a sudden realization that to many you can't do that with a spoken word. You can't, you know, silence perpetuates even better, actually, just to be present. And so I found a little bit of conflict with that at times, feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit selfish, kind of way, in a way, in the sense of, well, you know, what's the good of me awakening, you know, to that extent that I can't, you know, touch other people, and you know. But then, of course, conceptually even speaking, it's it's feeling that when you become, this is one of my questions to Ramdas the other day, and it was beautiful, and that as soon as you are totally empty, totally, you will overflow with some divine, from the divine space, and that will automatically touch people, whether they know it or not, So that's kind of subsided away as well, that anxiety, that person anxiety of being the cat, trying to improve the cat, Yeah.
Because it can be like with us as well, the cat trying to improve the cat, but if
Yeah, it's amazing.
the same, like, yeah, if you feel like you should help, like, people out there, like if you meet your friends and like they really need to know the truth even though they haven't asked, it's the same
Yeah.
thing, really.
Yeah, it's the activist's nightmare in a way, and I consider myself quite antagonically activist many of my years. We all want the whales to survive. We don't want to kill the, this. We want to be vegan. We don't want to slaughter animals. There's a series of issues in the world that fall into the category of the polarity ball game, of darkness versus light and this, that, and the other. But it's slowly just disappearing. And I mean, if you use an analogy, a metaphor of our person, you go to your your Facebook wall and you see the things you post and repost, and it gives a certain profile of how the play is happening. And I find that I'll have some quite peppery, quite hot chili posts once in a while, and I'd have other ones that are really just, fighting against politicians and Monsanto and all that stuff, and but now it's a bit different. It's not like totally indulged. There's a play, the hand moves over, clicks, share, and goes, but it's not as visceral. It's not as, I won't get angry about it. I won't, or maybe I will, maybe a little bit, but it can be seen. It can be caught. And I suspect that by doing this and being gentle with our person, cat, whatever you want to call it, he will just wither away, pretty much on his own accord. It'll sort of be like a transcendence, a natural transcendence,
If you don't believe it, then you don't live. It only lives.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You don't believe it.
We give it life, so if we don't want to give it life anymore, then by not believing
Yes.
it, that's it. I can't live. I can't live because it's not a real thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, my loves. Thank you.
Started something like, was it 3 years ago maybe? I was living in this Tibetan place, and I went through this period of just complete depression. It's falling apart. I miss my son. Why am I working in this kitchen? And me. And I went in. I had made an appointment with Abbot Lamayeshi, and I go and I sit down in his office and trying not to be all sobby and everything. And I'm just me. I'm so depressed. And he says, the only reason you're having this problem is you think you're a person. He said self, but because you think you're a self. I was like, just completely broken. I was like, yeah. How are you going to argue with that, It was so funny. I walked out of there, just got completely reamed by the abbot. You know, I walked out with a big smile on my face. I wasn't depressed anymore. That's just it, isn't it? I mean, it's the whole source of everything.
Mm.
Is this belief that we're somebody,
Mm.
someone, you know, some person, something even.
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
My mom was like, "Hold on, I have to meet you when I sorry, Sarah. And my mom was talking to me recently, and she was telling me like some problem or something. She said like her problem boiled down to that everything that's happening is making her feel like a nobody. And she doesn't know anything about that time, so I don't know where this came from. But I just said, if you really knew you were a nobody, you'd be so happy. And she was like, yeah, because like she was so like, you know, you can feel like you're a nobody, but like in an egotistical way, kind of, you know, because it's like, um, I don't know, like even what that feels like really, but like, yeah. It's like to be a nobody, but you're a person who is a nobody. So it's like there's a somebody who's a nobody. So if there's a somebody who's a nobody, then it's not a good thing. It's like you're gonna feel like not so good. But actually, even though she doesn't come to satsang, somehow she just like said, yeah, she understood. Namaste, Petra. Welcome back, Mr. Haji. I'm sorry.
Hey guys,
Hey.
I'm gonna share because I keep going to share and then I keep hiding away, so I'm gonna share.
I could.
um, yeah, I just wanted to say that like I quite often don't say anything because I just feel like I don't know what to say. Like I don't have an understanding, you know. And there's stuff plays around that, but um, you know, I know to drop it. But there's stuff that plays that I don't know what's going on, and I should know what's going on. And but this has kind of been something like it's a lifelong thing. Like I never really understood what was going on in the so-called normal world, you know. Like what the hell is everyone on about? And
But do you know what?
so I
Like,
don't know.
nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody who knows what's going on. So you're just being honest and saying, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I just always have this thing saying that I just don't get what's going on. Hello. But yeah, it's normal. It's been around forever, so. But I just wanted to say because you know quite often I get that thing I should say something, but I don't know what to say because I don't actually know. Oh god. But yeah, I just wanted to say it because I'm sitting here thinking I should say something, and it's about that. It's about not knowing what to say. So yeah.
Do you think you should know? Or no?
Yeah, there's this thing playing that's saying I should know. I should say something. Everyone else has got something to say, you know. But it's seen, it's playing.
Mm.
Sometimes it's picked up, you know. But I just feel so good about not, like, I don't know, there's just this thing about not knowing is good.
Mm. I used to love that when Ananta said that, like, you just don't need to know anything at all because it's just, like, so easy. Like, if you can just, like, not need to know anything, it's, like, it's good.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
actually
I
just
just wanted to put that there because it
don't
plays like that.
Okay.
Sorry. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to say something.
Mm.
Be a sec.
Because maybe sometimes when we're in satsang, you know, like the Sangha come and they seem like they know something because they're saying, like, I know that there's no one here or something. But actually, you don't need to know anything. You don't even need to know, like, I feel like you don't even need to know your awareness or being. You don't need to know what anything means. You just don't need to know anything at all. And then they might say something different. But I feel like I feel like it's like just you can't have any problems that way. You know, it's just like you just take it like that.
I think there's a commentary that goes on when people are talking. It's like, where is all this coming from? How do they know all this, you know? But it's not that they know it. It's just coming. But this is the commentary saying, how come you don't know this? How, you know, where? You know, so I just wanted to put it out there because it's what plays. And but there's such a comfort in not knowing. Like, just feels like there's such a comfort in not knowing. Because there's been so much energy towards knowing over the years.
Yeah.
And such a frustration, like so much things around it, frustration, kind of like an insanity, you know, like getting yourself all into knots over trying to figure things out. There's been so many things around it, all negative, you know, all horrible, just around this knowing thing. So it's good. It's a good thing. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. Just came to share because it kept coming up, and then I was like, oh no, it doesn't matter. And then I'll say it. Oh no, it doesn't matter. Just say it.
It seems like sometimes when things go around in your head, so even if it's that, you know, like I don't know, like whatever it is, but once you say it, it's like it's gone then. It's like sweeping it away or something. Feels like.
Yeah.
So it's
It's that one. That one's quite I don't know, not big, but persistent. This knowing thing. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
All right.
So you're the same as everyone else then? No one actually knows anything. No one here knows anything. No one anywhere knows anything.
It's funny because like it just feels sometimes like I don't know how I got here. It's like, what is going on? Like, one minute you're a kid and everything's beautiful, and the next minute you're here and you're like, what the hell is going on? You know? and then you're in satsang and it's like, but this, of course. But then there's still this play of this crazy stuff going on at the same time. And sometimes it's just like, what? It's just like so surreal. Everything just feels so surreal. I don't feel like I'm even here.
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it just seems like so simple yet so crazy.
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah. So it's just trust. I just like the other day the grace thing that actually really hit me. Like, you know, like grace is helping you as a person was how it was being taken. but the other day when it was said, it was like, my God, it's not. It is all grace, the whole thing, and it's not about helping a person. It's just the whole thing is grace. The whole everything is grace. Like, yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. But
You don't know anything, but still you can say.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Crazy. I'm getting all hot and sweaty. Every time I talk, I get all hot and sweaty. Okay, I'm going to mute now. Okay.
Oh, I can't hear you, Sam. I can see your mouth moving, but can't hear. Because you plugged those earphone things in.
Does that work?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I wonder if there's people walking around out there in the world who are, if there are people walking around in the world that are, they're like self-realized, but they don't know it. You know, they just don't have like a sense of a self, of a personal self, but they're so used to it that they don't even know it. And it's
Yeah. I think Ananta was
perfectly
something
normal.
like, or someone else, like Moojiji or Ananta or something that, I can't remember exactly what he said, but that you can carry this light, even, you don't have to know it, but like still, like every being that you meet can be touched. And definitely it can be like that. And I'm sure you've met people and they're not, like they might not be in Satsang or they don't know anything about Satsang. They're just living their life, but they're not giving so much like attention or energy to their minds. But there is it. But weren't you saying something like that? He takes credit for it.
I bumped into some people the other day, and that came across quite strong. I realized suddenly some things I was saying that were just coming up, but then I was faced with this guy. He just put it like this. He said, "No, I'm not interested in anything so-called spiritual. I'm not interested in looking for anything." And I suddenly felt this cold contraction in my stomach, like what am I babbling on about? With awareness and observation and the watcher and all this sort of thing. And it caught me for a while because he said, "No, I'm just happy to live. I'm just happy to be here in life and just live." It was like it was all enough. It was all enough. And I thought, well, that's what many spiritual teachers are talking about as well. It's just about being in life, and that's enough. So it's a gift unto itself. But then I could be wrong. I mean, correct me if you think that I might be misguided. But I remember a talk with Moojiji in an interview. It was an American interviewer guy. I think he has something. It's not Conscious TV. It's another one. It's Conscious something. Anyway, And he asked him, Mooji, people that you often see on a spiritual trip, on an inquiry, on a deeper search and so forth, there seems to be a tremendous cloud of misery and suffering and, associated with it. And I saw that in my own life, never really quite satisfied with life as it was. There was always something apparently missing and something to be achieved to get to mechanism. But Mooji then responds and says, yes, that's fine. It's fine that you live life as such. You're making money, you got a sexy wife, you got the boat, you got the nice BMW, and life seems to be thriving. But then he said something that really touched me on the point that was, yes, but then when that has finished, and it will, because life is transient, life is a passing of experiences, then what? And so then it clicked for me, and I thought, right, that's it, that's fine. So it put a sort of perspective on everything is okay, everyone is doing their thing at the pace they're doing it. The fruit on the tree, some are green, some are more ripe, others are just about to fall off the branch. And I just got this sort of compassionate perspective of there's no comparison. It's just unfolding the way it is. And there's nothing wrong. But it doesn't diminish where you are at that moment, which is you're finding a deeper revelation to this samsara, to this repetitive. And that was very strong for me in my life. I realized there was a pattern very early that, hey, this is repeating itself. This is something, it's just going round and round.
You can do it, Bob.
So I just felt to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome, Adam.
Hello everyone. A bit late, but happy to be here.
Very happy that you're here. And feel free to share anything that you want to, anything that comes.
Okay.
Or not, or just don't feel like you have to. We're just here.
Okay. Thank you.
We don't know why we're here, but as Shivani said, it's all grace. So it must be something to do with grace. Because grace is all there is. And we don't need to know why. People often talk about different things like that, so what Nick was talking about there, people are at different, parts of their, I'm very bad at words sometimes, of their, grown or something like this. And then also, people around us, probably, all around all of you as well, they talk about, different teachers, and this person is a real teacher, and this person isn't a real teacher. And is this person free, or is that person free? And this person is totally in illusions. All this kind of thing goes on. But I feel like it doesn't really matter. But it always just comes back to ourselves. So just because when we're clear who we are, then none of that matters. So of course you can still have those conversations and play along, but just that we're not letting those ideas, because they're just ideas like everything else. Because actually you're the only one here, there's no one else here. So actually there's no one at different levels. There's no one at different levels of awakening, and there's no one who's a true teacher and not a true teacher. If you just look and see who's here, then you're here and your presence is here, and everything else that comes after that. On one level you can say it's here, but it's just a story. and it's just a part of the play. And most likely, most people that come to like Satsang and that come to Advaita are here because we've had enough of the story. We're tired of the story now, so we wanted to skip to the last page. And the last page says, "Who am I?" That's the last page, and then we look and see, and then that's it. Book closed. In the fire. So, so all of them things don't matter. I don't even know what things to say.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I just want to say, I said this to Father the other day, just came, and it's so beautiful, and it's true about all of you as well. It's that life seems normal now that you guys are in it.
Say again?
Because life seems normal with you guys in it. It seems normal again.
Yeah.
It just seems so surreal, and you know, it just seems normal again. Yeah.
Because your madness is completely allowed. Your madness is completely allowed here, so it cancels out the madness because we're all equally as mad as each other here.
Yeah.
So therefore, we normal. It's like that, isn't it?
I don't know what you said. I didn't understand. I can't understand anything these days. But yes, I would just agree. Yeah, I don't know. Yep. But yeah, no, it just seems normal because you can actually talk about things that, you know, instead of just, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it just seems normal. It's like when I was younger, it was normal, and then it started getting crazy somehow, and you just got completely lost, and now it feels like it's going back to being normal again. So I just want to say thank you.
We're all your heart, and like your own heart understands itself. It's like that, because we're all like exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I'm sure lots of people in the Sangha feel like that, and I can totally relate to your words. Is that?
Yeah. It just seems like it's normal. It hasn't seemed normal for so long.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it wasn't. I didn't realize how unnormal it was until recently. Like you get lost in it, so it seems normal. But now it's like that was so bizarre. What was all that about? You know? Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I can really relate to what she just said. I mean, I was just thinking about it in the last 3 or 4 years. After I left home, kind of got kicked out of the house, became sort of homeless and living in monasteries, you know. It was a very, very surreal time, and there were times I thought I was literally going mad. And I stayed at this one monastery for like 2 months or something. I was talking to the abbot one time, and I was going on. I think I said something like, at one point, you know, I don't even know who I am anymore. And I guess I must have jabbered on for about 45 minutes nonstop, because finally he actually said that. He said, "You know, you've just talked nonstop for 45 minutes." Can I say something now? And I was like, yeah. You know, he said, "You know, I really think you ought to stop meditating and go get a job. You know, just go back to the world." And in a way, was kind of right, looking back on it. Because I didn't really have the guidance that we have now, and being with all of you guys, it does make it seem normal. I mean, we're all going on the same, whatever we're going on, in the same pretend life, but we have someone to help us.
We're all going sane. Not insane, but sane.
Yeah. Because, I mean, really and truly, I thought I was going absolutely bonkers for some time.
We've been insane for too long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you're just kind of standing there in the middle of all these people looking around going, it's like someone just airdropped you into some situation, You don't know what anyone's saying or who any of these people are. It's like you're just standing there going, what the hell is going on? Why am I here? I have felt like that. It's that's a really weird, uncomfortable feeling. Life does feel quite normal now, whatever that means. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it's just comfortable and contented. And God, that's enough. I mean, if that's it, right? If this is it, just comfortable, content, want for nothing, no matter what happens. That's good enough. Just stop right here. I'll take it.
That's what everything's for, isn't it?
Huh?
Have to make you think. Because that's what everything is for, really, is to just like have a content and peaceful heart. I feel like that's what everybody in the whole world wants. So even if they're not in Satsang, if they're like, there's people like in the world chasing things, because they feel like it'll make their heart like content and peaceful. But actually, the only thing that will make our heart content and peaceful is when we stop searching for anything at all and just accept that we're already here and we're already what we're searching for. That's it. And then in that, our heart is at peace and it's content. And that's what everyone wants. It's just like a peaceful heart. And we already have it. We already are it. We're a content heart.
Yeah, it's so true.
Mm.
I don't talk to too many people, really, honestly, outside of you guys, because I just don't really get out. I mean, get out, walk around town, walk in the woods, walk out on the moors. I talk to very few people, and those that I do talk to, they kind of look at me in amazement. Like, you're really okay with this, with nothing. I mean, before I got this furniture, right, and this lady from I don't know, the housing people that I rent from. When she came over because she had heard that I didn't have any furniture and didn't have anything, and I had her sitting on a stack of cushions, while I sat on this old rusty plastic chair that I'd gotten out of the bin room, and I was like, I'm perfectly happy, It'd be nice to have some stuff that would be good, and if you can help me get some stuff, that would be nice. But I'm just like really happy like this. And she just looked at me in complete amazement. I just couldn't believe it. And I think most people, what few people that I do talk to, are kind of that way. They just kind of don't quite know what to say or how to take it. It's like, it's so abnormal being okay with nothing and not wanting anything. And I was saying to Priya the other night, we were talking, it's like, I'm supposed to be looking for a job, and I'm kind of going through the motions, but I just really don't care. I just don't care, and I should care, I suppose, but I don't. After 23 years of busting my ass in a career, and it isn't even that. It isn't even that I don't want to go back to that kind of life and working that hard. It's just I just don't care about it, you know. There's enough money right now, and I guess until somebody took it away from me, if they took it away from me, then maybe I would care. I suppose I would. But it's like I'm comfortable. It's okay. And as long as there's enough money to eat with, and like Josh is coming, I'm picking Josh up tomorrow, and if I can feed him for a few days and me, and then next week I don't starve, then the week, at the end of the week I'll get some more money and it'll be okay. So, that's okay.
Yeah. Bottom line, everything is okay.
Yep. But it's so nice to just to have this Sangha, it would be hard without a Sangha, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's why I came back. I mean, I really was going along perfectly happy and content, but I missed Father, I kept seeing his face, I missed him, and I missed talking to you guys. And, I think without the support, until one is really, well, long story short, I didn't want to keep going in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out of discomfort, out of this contented place, and without the support of Guru and of the Sangha, I guess for me, while it was not as easy to get sucked back into the life thing as it was at one time, it's easy to get sucked back into it because you've got all these people out there that don't have a clue. It's okay to be content with nothing, or pushing you into it. I don't know. Rambling now. I shut up. What happened to all those people who were behind you?
No, sir.
Yeah.
You had to go because 11 o'clock this morning. Yeah. Most people.
Same thing here, Soham. You touched on this issue with work and not wanting anything, and that just sparked up something very strong in me, because the other day I had a old reunited with an old buddy of mine from school, one of the survivors, and he's been on a spiritual path himself, and he says Advaita doesn't work for him. I was curious because he's a very intelligent guy and everything, and very, very well off with his as a photographer in the UK. I'm a photographer myself, but I'm sort of not doing anything with my creativity and stuff. But he came to a point and he said to me, like a button he was pushing, and he said, so now you know who you are, who you're not. Well, come on, get out of your shorts and come on up and do something. There was this kind of feeling of, right, this is where I've got to be something in the world now, and use my creative talents and artist and this, that, and the other, and versus the whole thing that Soham just pointed out now, which is, but hang on a sec, I'm happy doing nothing, and if it wasn't for support of you guys, I mean, where in the world could you be on a hangout or a meeting like this, and nobody has to say anything if you don't feel like it? I mean, this is insane. It's totally wonderfully insane. And Mooji comes out with something where he said, as an artist himself, and I related to it very much, was that he even subtracted from being created as such and painting and so forth because he just didn't feel the urge to do it. You know, it was something like there was something more behind, there was something more that was previous to everything that was worth, you know, sinking in. And that's what that's what I'm feeling now. Is absolutely, it's wonderful to not have this insatious, crazy, I would say, even a way, urge that most artists, if you look down history, they've had this fire, passion, you know, to create. And quite honestly, coming from my own experience, it's kind of crazy in a way. You know, there's a lot of passion, yes, behind it, but it's still not. It's I don't know. It's still not free from the person. I know it's weird to say that, but and I'm really happy. In a happy not the word, but I'm in a very relaxing space where I feel that if something is to happen, it will happen, kind of energy, you know, rather than me going out there and making something happen. And that relaxation is there's nothing that beats it, you know, just to be able to trust. And then I think I'm rambling on, but it comes to more like the absoluteness of grace, you know, this, you know, like Ananta says often, you know, just grace is enough, you know. And often I feel that, you know, it's like sometimes there's no inquiry at all. There's no intellectual inquiry at all. You know, awareness, observation, attention, all these things become very conceptual. And then suddenly there are days when it's just a trust. It's just a kind of burning in the heart of just being one with the Guru, one with the Sat Guru, you know. And then, of course, you can't talk about anything, you know. It's just no words for it.
Maybe we'll just like just be quiet together just for 1 or 2 minutes before we finish.
Lovely.
So in this time when we're being quiet, we'll just, like the same as what we already are doing, is to just like not identify with anything at all. So any ideas that are coming, we're not listening to them. Even if it's like thoughts, if thoughts are coming saying you have to go and do something, right now you don't have to do anything at all. You're just meant to be here because you are here. So just for 1 or 2 minutes, we'll enjoy the presence of the Sangha, but nothing else. There's nothing here. Only you. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all of you continue to flower in the grace of our fathers, Sri Moojiji and Sri Anantaji. Sakura Sri Moojiji ki Jai. Sakura Sri Anantaji ki Jai.
Jai.
JJ, aloha.
Thank you so much for this time together. It's very beautiful.
Love you. Love you all. Love you.
Thanks, Amba and Kapil.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.